Hello, I'm Bill Hammond, and I actually paid to see this. So it's been a while since my first video, about 5 months or so. And in the meantime, I've been trying to come up with things to do for this channel. Now, through the magic of Zoom, I am recording this where I can, be magically whisked away to Delaware. Hi, I'm in Delaware. Oh yeah, we're gonna just throw random movie references into these videos from time to time, and I'm actually from Delaware, so don't hate. Anyway, so yeah, the last 5 months I've been steadily working, coming up with ideas for things I want to do here on the channel, and then trying to figure out the logistics for them. So what we're gonna do today is play a little game. Before we get started, first things first, if you want more detailed reviews of any movies that I have seen or any other content that I come up with, go to my blog, actuallypaid.com. Appreciate any of the traffic. That's about as close to shameless self-promotion as I'm going to do here. I do not do the whole, hey, like and subscribe thing. That's just, it's old hat at this point, and it's kind of lame. That said, I do want to send a special shout out to a user called Musketeer X here on YouTube, who is my first official subscriber. One, thank you for being that first official subscriber, and two, I'm a huge Sword Art Online fan, so if your username is a reference to the Gun Gale character, awesome. And if not, still awesome as a coincidence. Now, what we're going to do today is a game I like to call Review Roulette. Now, I review every single movie I see on my blog, and I assign it a letter grade based on its quality, or at least what I think is its quality. But that doesn't mean there's not stuff to go over both good and bad within anything, whether it's something I love or something I hate. So I came up with this game where I'm going to spin a little wheel of reactions, basically. Like, things that I could reasonably do while watching a movie, like things that I could feel or think. And we're going to go over some of those, wherever the wheel lands, in regards to a certain movie. And I've figured the most appropriate movie to begin this little experiment would be the first film that I saw as a part of the 2021 canon when the movie theaters reopened back in March, and that's Disney's Raya and the Last Dragon. And there's no more appropriate time to do it than now, Thanksgiving week, when they're about to release Encanto, their second major animation release of the year. So I've got all of my videos and clips arranged, got my Olaf shirt. Let's get to it. All right, here's our happy little wheel. We've got 6 different reactions on it. A couple good, a couple bad, a couple in between. Mixtures. Fun. We have clapped, flipped off the screen, laughed, rolled my eyes, said wow, and smiled. And just so you know, I'm able to talk about any of these eventualities. I got everything I need right here. Everything I need right here. So let's give this bad girl a whirl, see where she lands, eh? Haha, all right, every time I laughed at Raya and the Last Dragon. Let's get to it, see if this actually works. Okay, so laughter is going to be a really easy one. Really, for me, there was only one solid laugh, and it comes in 2 parts. And as you can see from where we are, it's during the credits. Yeah, you got to sit through the entire hour 35 of the movie plus 11 of the 12 minutes of credits to get to this solid 2-part joke. Here we go. So here's part 1. Carlos Benavidez, you, sir, are a hero. I don't know if I've ever seen caffeination as a job title before in a credit roll, but I work in this industry. It is probably the most essential job on a set, in an office, anything. We work a lot of long hours, especially when we're filming. So this guy a formerly unsung hero is properly now sung, Mr. Carlos Benavides. I don't even drink coffee. Like, I drink sodas and teas for my caffeine jolt. But, dude, you are a godsend. And I love that if this is the first time or if this is the millionth time that this is being mentioned in the credits. It's just the first time that I've ever noticed it. So that's part one. Great, great little funny bit. And here's the other half of it, not the in loving memory of Tommy Holmes bit. That would just be in poor taste. No, below here, the making of this movie from over 400 individual homes was completely unprecedented and relied entirely on the talent, ingenuity, and dedication of everyone at Walt Disney Animation Studios. The filmmakers would like to thank them for their tireless hard work, good humor, and most of all, patience with our inability to properly use the internet. Parenthetical, dude, you're still on mute. That was the only time that I legitimately went or something like that. My laughs are terrible. The last 2 years have been a lot. And for those of us who survived the pandemic, we've done a lot of working from home or working remotely, where our only means of communication are these social media video chat apps. I mean, hell, I'm even recording this on Zoom right now. So to see that acknowledgement of everything we've been through with a little bit of tongue in cheek, not only was it funny, it was cathartic. So I very much appreciate that, because the thing is, this movie didn't need to be funny. Not at all. It's a really high-intensity adventure. There are world-ending stakes to it. So every time they put in a juvenile fart joke or Aquafina doing her weird spastic bit that she does that's not funny, it always fell flat. There were a couple of jokes that I could at least acknowledge were well written, but none of them made me laugh. And I remember sitting in the audience and thinking, not a single person over the age of 8 is laughing at any of these jokes. So it's not a dig to say that this movie is not funny. It really doesn't need to be. There's so much other good stuff going on with it. You don't need the laughs. The laughs are ancillary. So to have this one right here as the sole laugh, I think that really worked. Okay, so hopefully that illustrated the concept a little bit. Let's take another whirl. We're gonna do 3 of these over the course of the video. Let's do 3 of them. Here's number 2. Spin the wheel. Wow. We're gonna say wow every time I said wow watching this movie. This should be a fun one. Okay, so this is every time I said wow during this movie. Some of these are going to be genuine, some of them are going to be sarcastic, and this is going to be a lot longer than the laughter segment, and we're also going to start from the beginning of the film rather than the end. We intend to start from the earliest point on everything. It's just with the laughter, there was just the one at the very end. So here we go.
But instead, people being people, they all fought to possess the last remnant of dragon magic.
That's pretty amazing. When I first saw that, I was like, wow, we're actually going to admit that people are trash sometimes. That their baser instincts are towards violence and conquest rather than cooperation. Brilliant bit of subtle commentary in the opening minutes of the film. Wow. That looks like real water, and it's flowing upstream, upstairs, with bits of leaves in it that also look real. That is just some gorgeous animation.
It's not too late. I still believe we can be Kumandra again.
We can. Wow, for a crossbow bolt to the leg, not a lot of blood there. I know it's a kids movie, but if you're going to show the violence, show the actual effects of the violence. One, there's no way in hell he can swat a crossbow bolt out of the air toward his leg from his direction toward his head. But two, to go straight into his leg and not even have a wound. Come on. This is a genuine wow for me because throughout the movie, I thought that this basically played like a fetch quest. Like this felt like a video game to me, like a really good video game. Uh, Something like in the Zelda universe, with each section of Kumandra being a different section, not only of a dragon's body where the river flowed, but also they're all distinct environments: a desert, a jungle, mountains. Each of them have the feel of a different video game level, different area, like of Hyrule, and it's so expertly rendered. This animation is gorgeous on these landscapes, and it really does feel like these are like the best kinds of video game cutscenes. I'll keep it going. Wow. So to make sure that Sisu's in the very last place that you could possibly check, the very furthest river, you actually skipped over the correct river a bunch of times, then doubled back. That's wow. That's just inefficient. If you just went clockwise, you'd have been done with this in like 2 months, instead of 6 years. Even going anti-clockwise, counterclockwise, it would have taken less time than just this weird systematic checking of every single river, even when it's crossing great distances in the opposite direction. Just go to that one. Oh, wow. Here comes this reversing water again. This is awesome. I mean, look at these bubble effects. This looks so real. Wow. I mean, that is, again, just absolutely stunning animation. And I know they undercut Sisu being this powerful dragon with her actually being something of a fuck up. But again, especially if I'm playing a video game and this is like the cutscene, that's how I expect a dragon to form, a water dragon to come onto my screen. It's very imaginative, but very cool.
Oh, hey there, little fella. Oh, this beetle got a booty.
Careful! It's a turbo.
Why is it called a turbo?
Wow. Not only did you put a fart joke in, you made it an exploding fart. And you had an ancient mystical dragon say that a beetle has a booty. Just wow. Remember what I said about the jokes not landing? Yeah.
Hey, who's Mandy? What? Undies? Drop them! A cod, baby?
Wow. Disney thought that the Boss Baby was worth ripping off. That's all the character of Noi is. She's annoying and she's a Boss Baby ripoff. What the hell? This movie has so much going for it, but wow.
I'm not sure what's funny.
Tong is the only one who gets a good introduction out of the RPG side quest characters that we have here. But really, the wow here is that just like with the people being people, wow, Disney wrote it into the script for Awkwafina to admit she doesn't know what humor is. I know that's not the intent of the joke, but that's how I decided to rate it, because guess what? She's not funny. Wow. Way to throw an arbitrary deadline that isn't even stated into the thing to try to raise the stakes. We already know the gem's broken. We already know the June are coming in. You don't need to have the light fading from the gem pieces to add more tension. Sisu's air quotes dead at this point. We get it. Wow. So it was actually a Captain Planet ripoff the whole time. By your gem pieces combined, I am Sisu and all the other dragons. I mean, again, this movie has a lot going for it, but they definitely, the kindest word is homage, but we know that's not what they actually did. They have a lot of these moments where it's like, you're just lifting someone else's IP. Boss Baby, Captain Planet, Power Rangers, Lord of the Rings, like, when it's not being derivative, this is one of the best animated movies of the year. When it is being derivative, you might as well make another emoji movie. All right, 2 down, 1 more spin to go. We got 4 options here. Let's see where it lands. Let's spin the wheel. Every time I clapped watching Raya. I was kind of hoping it was going to land on this for the last option, but I swear this was all random. I did not engineer this in any way. So here we go. To wrap this up, every time I clapped at Raya and the Last Dragon. Okay, this is our last segment. Every time I clapped during this movie. Just like the last segment, we'll start from the beginning, work our way to the end. And just like the last segment, some of these will be genuine, some of them will not be. But here we go. Every time I clapped.
For far too long we have been enemies. But today is a new day. Today, we can be Kumandra once more.
Nice speech, Chief Benja.
What? If this bitch gets to do a sarcastic slow clap, so do I. Moving on.
I love you, my Tudra.
Another sarcastic clap, because it just can't be a Disney movie without a dead parent. I know he's not technically dead. He does come back at the end. But we already have a missing mother, and you've effectively killed off the father, like, 15 minutes in. Disney, come on. What is your obsession with killing parents? Seriously. Now, this is actually an appreciative clap, and you kind of got a hint of it earlier in the film, especially with Chief Benja's petrification, I guess. But the fact that when the Droon hits somebody, they not only turn to stone, but they all turn to stone with like their hands up and their head bowed down like an offering. That's a really good visual metaphor, because the Droon are already basically taking away your life, but they're leaving you in a position where you're still basically having to give them something. Like, just taking away your ability to continue existing was not enough for them. That's kind of hardcore. First of all, Tuk Tuk's cute. Second of all, it's just a genuine appreciation for Alan Tudyk and all he does. It doesn't matter if he's the Joker, if he's K2SO, or if he's this giant armadillo pill bug thing that doesn't actually talk. Alan Tudyk is the best. Moving on.
Be honest. I really need your help. I made a mistake. I trusted someone I shouldn't have. Now the world's broken.
Thank you. Finally. This has been a major problem with a lot of movies, especially a lot of Disney movies, particularly their live-action remakes, which are horrible to begin with, but this is an especially grievous thing. For whatever reason, Disney and a lot of other places have decided that in order for a girl to be a protagonist, she has to be built-in perfect. I mean, look at the live-action Mulan, for example. There's no real journey for her character. She's already doing parkour off of the roof and chasing chickens and launching and using the chi and all that other stuff. There's no room for her to grow because she's already completely perfect right out of the box. This, however, is a scene where we literally say, hey, our protagonist is flawed, and she knows she's flawed. She made errors, she admits them, and she wants to make things right. That is instantly more character development than almost any Disney protagonist has gotten in the last decade. So kudos for that one.
Oh, I'm gonna enjoy this.
Yep. She's a dragon. Let's go. Come on.
God, I love that scene. Oh, man, there's so much to unpack there. First of all, Namaari is arguably the best antagonist that we've had in a Disney movie in the 21st century. I'm not even going to call her a villain because she's not. She's an antagonist. She has opposite goals to the protagonist in Raya. But she's not a bad person. She's not an evil character. She's doing what she feels is best for her mother, for her tribe. Now, that may be in conflict with what Raya's doing, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. And again, the amount of character development that she gets over the course of the film. I know Raya and Sisu are the title characters, but arguably Namaari gets way more character development, and that is freaking brilliant to me. But just in this scene, you get this bit of combat, you get this one sheer moment of badassery from Sisu just busting in and breaking the whole thing up to save the day. And then she stares down Namaari. And I mean, I'm going to scroll back for a second and look at this. It's like where I want to find this exact moment here. Look at Namaari's eyes here. Look at them. It's freaking fantastic. There are tears welling up in her. Sisu comes up to her to growl and stare her down and snarl her and scare her off. And you can tell Namaari's a little bit scared, but mostly she's just in awe. And this is a joyous occasion for her because she finally sees a dragon alive in the world again. There's an earlier scene where she and her Fang troops just slowly and respectfully walk through a valley of stone dragons because she really is the dragon nerd that she said she was at the beginning of the film. She has a reverence for these creatures beyond just the typical, hey, you're like a mythical deity type thing. Like, she is truly rocked by this. Her entire worldview is shaken up. There's hope for a good resolution to all of this. and you can see it all in her eyes right here, with the tears just welling up right on the edge of the bottom lid. It's so great. Again, Raya and Sisu are the title characters. Namari is the most developed character, and she's easily the best thing about this movie. Let's move on. Woo! Love it. This is great. Very mature choice for Disney. We're going to actually end the movie on a down note. We're going to show that sometimes, no matter what you do, the world's going to collapse around you anyway. No matter what you do, it may not be good enough. Hope sometimes does not get paid off. All of our heroes are turned to stone. The light in the gem fades. It's all gone away. What a brilliantly dark ending for a movie. Oh, yeah, never mind. We covered this in the last segment. Captain Planet time! Boom! It's still really well animated. I'm not going to hate on it too much.
Welcome to Kumandra.
And you got to applaud this a little bit. I mean, it's a cheesy line, but it is the resolution of everything. It's the happy ending. You get everybody coming in. Sisu chuckles a little bit. Kumandra's reunited. It's all very sweet. We even get the rain coming in as the symbolism of rebirth and growth and everything. But what I really like about this ending, you have that one line from Raya, you have the giggle from Sisu, and then this entire last minute dialogue free. It's just a visual marvel with the score swelling. How do you not love it? That's all I gotta say. And there you have it. That's Review Roulette. I hope you enjoyed it at least. Maybe gave you a different perspective on the movie, whether you liked it or not. And hopefully this is worth doing again. If you have any suggestions for movies I should do a review roulette on, please let me know. If you have suggestions for different reactions to go on the wheel, I'm all ears. In the meantime, keep it locked on the blog, actuallypaid.com, for more reviews and features, and hopefully I can make this channel a bit more active as we go. Thanks for watching. I'm Bill Hammond. I actually paid to see this.